Well, what's going on, YouTube? Looks like we've been getting lied to again. The little jobs report comes out today. I don't know if you've seen it, heard about it. Came out earlier today. Obviously, I'm making the video on the way home from work, so it's been out for a couple hours now. They came out, revised the job numbers down as typical. I know we've been talking about this. I've been talking about it in the last couple videos, honestly. People are starting to feel it. The economy, who knows? They say it's great. Does it really feel that great? Not to me. I don't think so. I think consumer sentiment is on the way down. We can all see it. If you have eyes, you can see it. And here comes a jobs report. For the last year, they said they created 2.9 million jobs. And then they revised it down by 800,000. So then it goes from 818,000 to be more exact. It goes from 2.9 to 2.1, which still sounds like a lot of jobs. They were wrong by 800,000. 800,000. Over a third. What is that, like 35%? Who else do you know? Where else do you know people that at your job that you do? Even if it's predictions, I don't give a shit, where you're allowed to be wrong by over a third. Nowhere. And they're not wrong. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a whoops, whatever. I've been saying it here. If you're paying attention to shit like this, you've seen it other places too. They're lying. They're lying to you. They always will be. It obviously, I mean, for me, I've never believed it. I mean, like I said, it's what we got to work off of, but don't believe it. It's just not the truth. I mean, anything that they're coming out, these numbers are doctored. And I've been saying it the whole time. It's not like I'm the only one saying it. A lot of people say it. You know it. I know it. They know it. They know that we know it. It's obvious. It's out there for everybody to see. It's just not reality. And it's the same kind of thing when they come out and say, here's our inflation number. It's only 2%. Look, we're at 3%. Oh, we revised it. Except they don't do that with the CPI and the inflation, the major inflation targets. Then they come out with the jobs thing, 35%, a little more than that, I think, right? You're not even close. You don't get to be off by a third. It's just not a real. It's make-believe. We're living in fucking clown world. It's complete fake. The economy's great. By the way, a third of the jobs we said we created didn't ever exist. Great. And then you got, I don't know, some fucking guy from Goldman Sachs saying, well, if you count immigrant workers, or illegal, what he said, something about illegal immigrant workers, it's not that bad. It's not actually that bad. And it's like, you think regular Americans want to hear that as the excuse of why it's not that bad? Yeah, we did lie to you, but it's not that bad because people from other countries are getting jobs. Great. Fantastic. That's a good selling point, guy from Goldman Sachs. All we've been hearing is how great the economy is, and we're about to perfectly hit it. We're going to hit the soft landing. We're going to do this and that. None of these numbers are real. Like I said, that's what we got to go off of. That's what supposedly they make all their decisions off of. It's not reality. They do whatever they got to do to make sure people don't panic too hard. In reality, I mean, nothing happened. I mean, they came out and said, hey, we missed by 800,000 jobs, and nothing happened. I mean, Bitcoin's up, stock market's generally up. The anticipation of the rate cuts coming next month didn't change really at all. And in reality, they're saying because that was already priced in. And it's like, okay, if you say so. The whole thing is they don't want anybody to panic, which is correct. I don't want anybody to panic either. I know people see stuff like this and they're like, oh, people are fear-mongering or trying to convince people like the world's ending or whatever. It's not that. It's literally just to prove a point, and we're going to get into it later because, I mean, I went from yesterday, no video, to, I mean, all kinds of shit came out last night and today, so we got plenty to talk about. This might be a 20-minute video for all I know. The thing is, you can't trust them. You can't trust the numbers. They're not reality, like I said. They're going to lie because that is their incentive is to keep everybody calm. When people panic, things get bad. So, lie, keep them calm. Fine. which is right. Like I said, you want to stay calm. You don't want to be emotional and act all crazy and do crazy shit like, I don't know, sell out of your 401k because you think the market's going to tank or whatever. That's not what you want to do. You got to keep it level-headed and just realize and understand they're not telling you the truth. They never were telling you the truth, and they're not going to tell you the truth tomorrow or next day or the next day or next year or whenever. It's just not. They're going to do whatever's in their interest to keep things as calm and level as possible. So that's great. The economy's great. Everything's great. We missed by 800,000 jobs. I'm trying to think. What's the population of Ohio? Like 13 million? It's like a 15th of the entire state worth of jobs. Like I said, a third of all the jobs created in the last year basically just never existed in the first place. And we talked about in other videos, the jobs people are getting are lower quality jobs. People are leaving their good one job, their full-time job, to go get two part-time shitty jobs, fucking doing whatever you got to do to make ends meet, go fucking DoorDash around because you got laid off. And I've been seeing videos left and right. The tech people they're already getting hit with the layoffs. GM, I think, just came out and said they're laying off 1,000 people. I mean, 1,000's not really that much in the big scheme of how big GM is, but that's how it starts. We talked about it before. Unemployment's starting to tick up. It's been ticking up the last couple of months in a row. And the trend is when that happens, it's gonna keep ticking up. It's gonna keep going up. Jobs are slowing down more than they thought. All the jobs we've created, I love seeing that. That's my favorite tweet, I think, when Biden his whoever runs his Twitter throws out to look all the jobs we created in my presidency. And you see the chart, and it's like Trump's presidency, COVID happens, a giant fall off, and then it comes back up. And it is above where we're at before COVID, but it's like you didn't create all those jobs in that big drop from COVID. That was artificial. Those jobs already existed, and then they were brought back. You didn't create shit. And I mean, it's a technicality, but it's like, come on, bro. Anybody with a lick of common sense is like, would you shut the hell up with that? We created this and that. You didn't create shit. And that's kind of the second thing I want to get into here, is because, god damn, they're dropping. The political policies are flying hot and fast around here. I mean, mostly it's Kamala coming out and saying what she wants to do here and there, but I mean, Twitter, X, whatever, they're fired up about it, definitely. You always get this thing where people are obviously talking about things they don't understand. I do it all the time, so I'm not shaming these people, but I like talking. You're obviously going to be wrong sometimes, but as I understand it right now, they're talking mainly taxes. Like I said, we brought it up on Monday, I think, child tax credit. Now they're coming out with upping the corporate tax rate to 28%. I believe it's at 21%. Now up at 28%. I'm not really too worried about that. It's whatever. It's been higher than that in the past. We'll see how that shakes out. I personally don't think it'll be great. The main one, though, they're coming out with the capital gains tax. I believe that, I can't remember. I'm wanting to say 50%, which is fucking high. That's really high. If you don't know what capital gains is, basically any investment you make when you sell it, you have realized capital gain. You have gained capital, I guess is why it's called that in theory, but your asset has increased in value and then you sold it for a profit. You got to hand over a little tax on that. Right now, for like the lowest bracket, like the bracket I would consider if I sold anything, like I've had to look at this for like fucking Bitcoin or whatever. If I sold it, since I've held it over a year, it's only 15%. And I don't know if they're talking short term, long term, but I mean, 50%'s a lot. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's insane. It's people that don't understand economics in the slightest coming up with this shit just because it sounds good to maybe poor people. Like, I'm not rich by any means, but I understand that it doesn't work how you think it does just off the way they describe it. And that is really being shown by the fact they want to do 25% unrealized capital gain tax, which here's the caveat before everybody fucking loses their mind, because that's the thing on Twitter. Everybody's like, well, if you bought a house for $100,000 and you sold it for $200,000, you owe them 25% of the $100,000 profit you made. It's like, no, time out, pause. I think this does a disservice to your argument when you just blatantly like overlook. Like, it's a bad policy. Don't get me wrong. That's a terrible idea. But to make it look worse than it actually is, which is like, I don't know what increment it is. If this is neutral and the policy is bad, and here's this little caveat that makes it a little less bad, you should still give everybody all the information you got. And as far as I understand it, this unrealized capital gains tax would only come down on people with their net worth is over $100 million, which I mildly agree in the smallest sense that, like, I don't know anybody who's worth over $100 million. I don't care about anybody that's worth over $100 million, whatever. If you want to tax them at 25%, whatever. I think that's the general thought, and I kind of get it. That's fine. The problem is, we'll get into it. The problem is, the government never stops where they say they're going to stop, okay? So take that for what it is. To stay on track with the $100 million thing, basically anybody who's worth more than $100 million will not be worth more than $100 million for very long. Because if their company that is worth $1 billion and it was started at zero, but they've never sold anything and they own stock, like Elon's shit is worth way more than that. Say he's worth $100 billion, whatever it is. If he's worth $100 billion, if Tesla's worth $100 billion and he owns 100% of the stock, which he doesn't, but like just hypothetically, you own a company worth $100 billion and you own 100% of the company somehow, that tax would come down on you and you would owe $25 billion if you basically started the company from nothing. As I understand it. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, it's over $100 million. It's an unrealized capital gains. So now your company has to come off $25 billion. Where? From where? You sell the stock to pay the tax. Which then I don't even know how that works, because then it is a realized capital gains, and then what, you pay 50%? Who knows? I don't know. After that, the concept is asinine. It makes no sense. And unrealized capital gains cannot be taxed because it's not realized. You haven't made any of the money. And then to sell it and make the money, you've now realized it and then have to pay the tax. So who knows? What do you do? Hand over 25% of the company to the government? Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, the idea is idiotic. It makes no fucking sense. If you literally think about it for more than 5 seconds, you're like, well, how does that work? And like I said, the argument from the people on Twitter are like, oh, well, my house. Well, no, not your house. Not right now. Not yet. And people are like, ha, you fucking idiot. You're not worth $100 million. This isn't about you, blah, blah. What? People are always like, oh, you're fucking just sucking off all the rich people. You're really, really caring about all the rich people. You're like, what, simping for the billionaires of America or whatever. And that, whatever, that's kind of funny, but I mean, the point is, it's not going to stop at $100 million. If you let them do $100 million, what is it, 10 years from now we're at 10 million? And then where? It's just going to keep coming down. The government is like the epitome of an entity that has no self-control. They waste money like nobody's business. They print more money and fuck. I mean, the economy's supposed to run like that because that's the system we have. It is what it is. I don't think it's the greatest idea. They spend more money than anybody's ever seen in the history of the world. Our country spends more money than anybody else. I mean, what's the stat? Something crazy. We spend, just on the military, we're spending like, what, 600 billion or something like that? I can't remember what the number is. It's something insane. 600 billion, and we spend more than like the next 10 countries combined on military. Our interest on our debt is like 10% of our entire budget or something like that. Or more maybe even now. It was. You can't even keep track. We're talking trillions and trillions of dollars. What's the budget this year? 7 trillion, and we only bring in 4 trillion. And they are like, well, we want to tax everybody over 100 million. Well, like I said, there goes every company that's worth multi-billions of dollars. What is that? Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla. Destroyed. It will wipe them off the map. They can't afford to pay that 25%. And I'm sure there'll be some kind of loopholes and things like that. It's just not. I mean, like I said, it's just not. Anybody who knows anything about anything understands you cannot do that. It literally doesn't make any sense. And it's a lot of, the arguments are crazy. It's like, well, do they need that much money? Do they blah, blah? I get it. Whatever. I get what you're saying. And whatever. If somebody wants to tell me that I'm I'm being a pussy and I'm standing up for billionaires that I don't know, whatever. Go ahead. I'm operating off the simple, what is it? The golden rule. I'm not going to ever have $100 million. Not going to happen. You're not going to have $100 million. Nobody we know is going to have $100 million. I'm not worried about that. It's just crazy. It's the principle of the thing of, I don't want to give the government more taxes, period. I don't agree with it in any sense. What do they do with it? They blow it. Why would I want to give them more money? I don't care. Like this is the same thing. If Trump gets in or Kamala gets in, I don't give a shit. I don't want to up the tax. I don't care who's in control. It's my money. I want to keep my money. I want you to keep your money. Do whatever the fuck you want with it. You want the government to have it? Give it to them. They shouldn't be able to take it more and more and more. This example of, yeah, it's only $100 million net worth people we're going after now. Yeah, well, what was the income tax? Because wasn't it only on like the richest people at the beginning? And now who pays income tax now? Everybody's paying income tax. And the income tax just keeps going up, baby. And it's never coming down. So the more you give them an inch, they're taking a mile. It don't matter. They're coming for it all. You let them take a little bit, they're taking everything. Because, like I said, they have no self-control. They have no reason to have self-control because there is no consequences to the things they do. They spend unlimited money and then they just print more money. And who suffers? You, me. We get minimal benefit and your money just keeps decreasing in value. That's all that happens. Great. Sounds great. Sounds like a good deal. Sound like a good deal to you? I don't fucking know. I mean, it's... You gotta let me know. There's no way I'm off base. Like I said, if you have an inkling of how money works in the sense of, I'm going to take 25% of a gain that you haven't actually realized yet, like the house example I brought up that isn't part of the policy right now. When will it become part of the policy? Who knows? Who knows? What happens when it comes down to a $10 million net worth? And it's like, well, I don't really know anybody worth 10 mil either. Maybe 5 mil. I bet I know a couple people that are worth $5 million. I mean, shit, your retirement could, in theory, be worth $5 million. Then what? Your 401k getting taxed 25% unrealized gain? You don't have... It's never going to go over $5 million because you're going to get fucking taxed into the dirt. There is no benefit to this. I can't remember the stat. It's something like if they took all of the billionaires' money in the entire country, it's like a couple $1 trillion. And what does that equal? I don't know, maybe, what was it? I swear I saw it. It was like 5 or 7 trillion. So if we're spending 7 trillion in 1 year, we burn through all their money in literally like off deficit alone, maybe like 5 years. All the billionaires no longer exist, and all their companies that they make them worth $1 billion, because that's all they are. Nobody has $1 billion. Well, people do have $1 billion if you're a multi-hundred billionaire. But people don't have hundreds of billions of dollars in cash. It's wrapped up in their company. Bezos is worth billions because Amazon is worth billions. Same with Elon and Tesla and Microsoft and Bill Gates and all that shit. They don't have billions of dollars. They don't have liquid money. And somehow some dimwit on Twitter doesn't understand the concept that you don't have billions of dollars. Your net worth is billions of dollars. Just like my net worth is what? Maybe $40,000 and $30,000 is my retirement. I don't have access to the money, you dumb bitch. That's not how it works. That's not what net worth means. And people don't understand that concept, which is, I don't know, attributed to a failing of our fucking government-run school system. Nobody fucking understands how money works or basic economics. Take 25%. So no, they're not taking your house. They're not coming after 25 grand of your $100,000 house, that profit you made or whatever. Not today, and not in 10 years probably. But I'm telling you, it's never going to get better. They're not going to institute a $100 million tax on these people and then back it off to $200 million and $500 million and then get rid of it. Never going to happen. It doesn't happen. I was looking at, I got to do a little deep dive on it and try to understand what's happening, but the corporate tax rate, that was going up and down. And something in World War II, it was like 94% or something insane, which literally makes no sense. So there's Obviously something I'm missing on that, because that just doesn't, it literally can't work. It's infeasible mathematically. It doesn't work. But I don't know where these people get the idea that the government is going to handle they are not a good steward of your money, of your taxes. They don't handle it well now. Why would you give them more? I can't remember. I mean, video, like 30, 40 videos ago. I mean, it's the credit card thing. It's a kid with their credit card. They have no consequence. They don't even have a concept of the money. They just swipe it, pay for everything. It's a little kid with candy or whatever you want. They don't even understand the concept of the consequences of what they're doing, apparently. Because otherwise you wouldn't advocate for shit like that unless, I mean, I'm not going to say they're not stupid, because they're obviously stupid. They're stupid. People who think that'll work are stupid. It just doesn't work. It will never work. Try it. I'm almost half tempted. What's the fucking Lord of the Rings quote or whatever? I'm half tempted to let you try it. Try it. See what happens. Go ahead, do it. Tax everybody worth over $100 million and watch them all leave the country. And watch their companies leave the country. And then what? I don't know. They'll have to, either they do that or nobody's worth over $100 million. And it's like, you better fucking chop the tall grass, because all the billionaires, if you're worth $200 billion now, well, how much is 25%? Give me $50 billion. Where are you going to get $50 billion from? Sell it off your company. You sell that much stock value is going to tank. Everybody invested in the company is going to... I mean, the chain reaction of what that entails is crazy. And obviously these people don't understand it. That's why they advocate for it. It sounds good to dumbass on Twitter who has no concept of how money works. And I hope if you're watching this video and you think that, let me know. Please let me know. I'll try to explain it to you. I'll try my best to explain it to you. But I think if you're watching this video, you already get the idea. The problem is the people who don't. All they hear is tax rich people more. Great, do it. And then what? And then the government spends it. Do you see a fucking dime? No. What are they going to do? They'll cut you a check for $1,000. They'll cut you a little COVID check. You get a little COVID check. You can have $1,000 as a treat. A couple $1,000 as a treat. It doesn't do nothing. It ends up right back in Amazon's fucking pockets. Because their dumbass goes on Amazon and says, oh, look, I got $1,000 extra bucks. What do they do? Buy a new car? Money, straight to Ford, straight to GM. Buy shit off Amazon, buy a new TV, straight to Amazon, straight to Sony. All these huge... like what? They don't... the people that think this way don't manage their money in any way that's advantageous to them anyway. So, here we go. Try it. Like I said, fuck it, dude. Go for it. We'll see. I would love to see how that works out, because it ain't going to be good. I mean, it's going to get tough out here. It's going to get tough for everybody. Fucking go ahead. Blow the biggest companies in the country up. And we'll be talking about jobs numbers, because everybody and their fucking mom isn't going to have a job anymore, because these companies are just shut down until they're only all worth less than $100 million, I guess. We'll see. I don't know. You got to let me know what you think. Whew. Like I said, it's fucking crazy. That's some crazy shit. We're ramping it up now. We're speeding up pretty quick. I mean, we're halfway through the week. We still got 2 days left. We'll see what comes out next. Let me know what you think. Like the video if you liked it, got something out of it, learned something. Let me know what you think about 25% taxes on unrealized gains, because that's... I mean, I've heard it before, but it's still the craziest shit I've ever heard as far as like a mainstream thing. Ain't gonna stop there. Like I said, the government, they ain't telling the truth anytime soon. It's not gonna start. They're not gonna start tomorrow. If you disagree with me, fucking let me know why. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. Subscribe, come back more. Watch some more, watch another video. Gotta start putting the end cards at the end of the videos, but I'm pretty much home now. I'm gonna go get me a workout. Hope you guys have a good evening, and I'll catch you tomorrow.